Hey, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all know who this is. This your boy, Rob Thomas Jr., and this is the real news behind the news. Oh, yeah, man. Today is a beautiful Tuesday here in Shreveport, March 1st, 2022, and I'm going to make it a consistent effort to keep you all updated with an alternative point of view to the lies that you're being told by the mainstream media in relation to the situation in the Ukraine. Now, if you all look in the description section of this video, you will see a link. I posted the link up yesterday on the Real News Behind News Facebook page. Whereas, let me just say this first. Black people, that crap that's going on over in the Ukraine has nothing to do with us. We should not be really concerned unless you have family members that's fighting over there, and I highly doubt that. But what we want to talk about, sorry about that, do y'all realize that for the last 8 years, after the United States overthrew that government in Ukraine, the Ukrainian government and the military has been infiltrated, well, I ain't gonna say infiltrated, they was already Nazis, by a bunch of Nazis who are getting military weapons at your expense. Think about it, the United States taxpayers is paying for all those weapons that's going to supply a bunch of neo-Nazis. But you won't hear that on your mainstream media here in America. Now, black people, there's an article that I posted the link to where a bunch of African students who were studying in the Ukraine are basically being told, get out the line, nigga. Ain't got no buses for you blackies, for you darkies. All right, y'all just click on the link. That's just my interpretation of it. I'm pretty sure when you read the link, it's going to be a little bit more cordial than what I just said. But yeah, the racist government of the Ukraine that's full of neo-Nazis is basically trying to evacuate a lot of citizens in Ukraine, all except the black students who come from Africa to study medicine over in that country. Another thing I also want to tell y'all about, stop believing these videos and these lies that they're showing you. Like that ghost of Kiev, that's a lie. They cannot prove any of it. There is no proof that this so-called pilot shot down 5 Russian planes. It's been proven that they showed you a bombing. It was supposed to be a bombing that took place over there, but it turns out that that was in China almost 4 years ago. Most of the images that you're seeing coming from the Ukraine on the mainstream media are lies, and this has been proven. I can point to many I can put up links to many sites where those videos and images have been debunked. They're from other places in the world 5, 6 years ago, 2, 3 years ago. So what I'm going to do again is try to do it on a daily basis. Love you too, Brother Emmett, what's going on? I'm going to be a voice of reason. Black people again, they got us all, stirred up talking about this whole situation when the Ukrainian government themselves really don't like Negroes. They are literally discriminating against the black students in that country, not allowing them to evacuate. Basically, they're saying no blacks allowed on the buses. But yet, here in America, you don't hear about that, do you? Only way you're going to hear about that and other truths when it's regard to Russia and the Ukraine is y'all come here and listen to the real news behind the news. Because if we don't have no sponsors, I don't have no sponsors. I don't have anybody that I got to be beholden to. I'm not going to lie to you all. And everything that I say is going to be based upon facts on the ground right now and based upon the history. Again, let me give y'all a little brief history. The situation in the Ukraine did not just start when Vladimir Putin went into that country. It started in 2014 when the United States overthrew that country and put in a puppet government. Ever since then, that government of the Ukraine has been murdering thousands, at last count, 13,000 people in the Donbass area. These are people who are Ukrainian, but they're ethnically tied to the Russian, to the state country of Russia. Do y'all realize that those neo-Nazis have been shelling the Donbass region since 2014 and murdered over 13,000 people? But now that poor Ukrainian people outside of the Donbass are dying, they want you all to think that they're the victims of a tyrannical tyrant in Vladimir Putin. All Vladimir Putin is doing is demilitarizing the Ukraine and basically trying to protect those ethnic Russian-speaking people in the Donbass area. Again, 13,000 of them have been murdered since 2014, but you don't hear about that, do you? No, they don't tell you about that because it's not part of their agenda. The agenda here in the West is to continue to get you all hyped up, sending money through your taxes to buy weapons from the military-industrial complex, who is the only ones to stand to gain something from this, sent to the Ukraine. British citizens who are saying that they want to go over there and fight the Russians on behalf of the Ukraine, and the British government and the Ukrainian government is allowing that to happen. But guess what? Why aren't these British citizens going over there to fight the United States, who's occupying illegally Syria right now? Why aren't these British citizens going over to Yemen, where you got almost 31,000 people who facing starvation because our government, the United States, using Saudi Arabia, has been bombing them for the last 8-9 years. Man, y'all got to start thinking, bruh. Every time you see something on your television, you're supposed to ask questions, because this is what they depend on. They depend on us to just blindly listen to a bunch of liars from Fox, CNN, MSNBC, Bloomberg, when we know that they lied to us. Didn't they lie to us to get us into Iraq, saying that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction? Didn't they lie to us, in every war that we've been into? Do y'all realize in the last, since I think it was 1901, put it like this, in the last 100 years, Russia has, only country that they really have invaded was Afghanistan. And in that same period, the United States has literally invaded or been involved in over 208 countries on the planet, illegally, most times. So I'm here to put an alternative point of view out there. And I'm going to just be real. When you come on my page and you start giving your point of view, which I truly welcome, it's easy to tell that you've been brainwashed and propagandized, because all you're going to talk about is what the news media here in America is telling you. It's obvious that you have not done any research on the history of the Ukraine and Russia and their relationship and the history of this conflict. Because again, this conflict did not just start when Vladimir Putin initiated his military operations. I'm not going to even call it an invasion, because that's not what it is. An invasion was what we did in Afghanistan. An invasion is what the United States did in Iraq. An invasion is what we did in Libya. I don't know. He must have grabbed it. An invasion is what we're doing right now in Syria. Do y'all realize we have troops right now in Syria occupying their oil fields and will not let the country of Syria sell their own oil? So this thing is going to be bigger. Notice that China, India, and forget the other country, are not condemning the Russians, because they know what's really going on. And they are basically not taking sides, but if they did take sides, it would be on the side of Russia. I'm not here to be a Russian proponent for Russia. I'm just here to tell you the truth, that your government started this whole situation in 2014. I suggest that you all go back and look at, they call it the Maidan coup in 2014. What really happened was under Barack Obama, the United States helped overthrow the rightfully elected government of the Ukraine. And since that time, they put a puppet in who's been taking billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of weapons that's funded by your tax dollars here in America. Do y'all realize just in the last 8 months, we done gave the Ukraine enough weapons where if we'd have spent that money, we could have ended homelessness here in America. We could have wiped out a lot of student loan debts. We could have gave everybody in America health care for all. This just in the money they spent in the last 6 months on weapons to supply a bunch of neo-Nazis. Craziest thing I ever heard. Y'all be blessed.